Remember when HGTV was telling everyone that home flipping was so easy?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Oh, you go ahead and do this flip, $100,000 magically comes out of the air when you sell it. There's no problems with it.
I'm a man of my word.
And then we started getting tons and tons and tons of these gurus and individuals saying,
Hey, come to me, come to me. If you come to me, you will easily make 20, 30, 40, 50% return on your investment. Don't worry, we'll do everything for you. And all we want is a small little fee.
and I've told you guys, listen, if it's too good to be true, it is. Right? I keep telling you guys, you have to go into these situations cautious. Like I've been telling you with the housing market. You should go into these situations cautious, and you should go in there thinking,
why are they doing this for me? Why is it so easy to make 50%, 100% return on investment? That doesn't sound right.
And spoiler alert, it's not right.
What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna go over a story, and you guys need to really hear this, because a lot of you guys are trying to get into investment properties. A lot of you guys are trying to buy your own home, and you need to understand this. You need to understand, and as we go into a downturn, a lot of you guys, and it's unfortunate, a lot of you guys have made bad investments. You have given your money to individuals, and the bottom is falling out of the economy. So what are we starting to see? We're gonna get to that. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel, guys. And make sure you check in the description and the pinned comment. I have a newsletter. It's free. You cannot beat free. But let's jump into it, guys.
There's a home flipping business in Chicago that's accused of ruining lives and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from everyday people who just wanted to build some generational wealth.
We have no idea where the money is.
How much are we talking about here?
I have lost $169,000.
We are at risk of losing over $200,000.
I'm sorry.
I'll break down exactly what happened.
This is sad to see, guys, that someone, you heard the lady here, she said $169,000. The other lady said $200,000 that they're going to lose because they decided that they were going to put their trust on someone who said that they were going to do a flipping job for them, that they were going to do flipping like HGTV, and you're just going to make so much money. They probably told these individuals,
The $200,000 investment that you're gonna get, you're gonna make 400. You're gonna make 400,000 or 300,000. Don't worry, you're gonna make so much money. You're gonna want to keep this secret to yourself. You're gonna want to keep the secret to yourself because we're gonna make you so much money.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
red flag number one. Red flag number one. If that's the case, why aren't they doing it themselves? Why did they need other people to do this? Let me tell you what, guys. Let me tell you what. If someone comes to you and they're right off the bat telling you,
You're gonna make 50% off of the money that you put in.
50%, 30%, 20%. Do you guys know what that is? That's insane.
Are you crazy?
That's insane returns on investment. If you had a secret to make 10%, 12% on money guaranteed, do you know every hedge fund in the world would be knocking at your door?
Open up!
Do you know that? Every hedge fund in the world would be knocking at your door. And you guys are trusting these individuals, giving them $200,000 of your own money, 401k, money you have saved in your bank, money that is your life savings.
Hello, I like money.
And you're giving it away to individuals that tell you they're gonna make ridiculous returns for you. Guys, listen, matter of fact, let's go ahead and finish it. Let's go ahead and finish and see what else she has to say.
So if you watch HGTV, you know it's all about home flipping, and it looks easy. It looks like it's something very profitable. So for months, we've been looking into a company called iFlip Chicago, and they do two things. They have a boot camp where they claim to teach you exactly everything you need to know to flip a home. Then they also offer to partner with first-time investors who have a little bit of money and are ready to invest in their own flip. But now 2 new lawsuits accuse iFlip Chicago of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars and essentially running a real estate Ponzi scheme.
What? A Ponzi scheme? A flipping business running a Ponzi scheme, right? Now, as I was watching this, the one thing that really red flag shout out to me, alarms going off, is the joint venture partnerships. Like, guys, now this is a personal situation, right? A lot of people that would say,
Orlando, come on, man. Partnerships are great.
You know, tons of people will tell you partnerships are great. But in my experience, partnerships they're partnerships, right? Normally someone in the group wants their money back.
It's me. Knock, knock. So, you got my money?
Doesn't want to do it.
You ruined it. You ruined it and I'm leaving.
And it messes up the partnership, or they overspend, they're stealing money. No matter what, partnerships are high risk situations. High risk. In my experience, I have seen so many partnership buyouts that are individuals coming to me for loans saying,
Hey, Orlando, the point of this loan is to buy out my partner because they're an idiot. Because I don't want to be associated with this person anymore, and please get them out of my business. Please, I want to write them out of my LLC, out of my S Corp,
or whatever it is. They want them out of the business. So when someone says to me that they want to do a joint venture on a small project, because let's be real, I know $100,000, $200,000, it doesn't seem small to a lot of people. But when you're looking at fix and flips, especially in Chicago, it looks like they were going into, the hood and going ahead and buying cheaper homes. You do that by yourself. You're gonna do a joint venture on a $50,000 property, a $70,000 property. Now, that may be okay if you're doing it with your partner, someone you're married to, right? But just doing it with the guy that you're seeing online,
What's wrong with you?
you're giving them power that is unnecessary. My point is, why do you need them to do a partnership? I am a big advocate of just doing real estate by yourself. You're taking the risk, right? You're putting your money up. You need to be on deed, on title, by yourself, right? You don't need to do joint ventures, especially when you're giving $200,000.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That just doesn't make sense to me. You can buy the property over yourself, make your own mistakes. Yeah, you're gonna get some leadership. You can get some mentorship. I have no issues with that. But to literally give away half or more of the real estate that you're purchasing because the person said so,
You might die.
you're looking to get taken advantage of, right? And again, we already know that we're offering these ridiculous rate of returns. This is my point. If it's too good to be true, let's say this together. If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
A lot of different types of people signed up for iFlip Chicago. One of them was an emergency room doctor. Her name was Amira Hamid, and she invested almost $200,000 with iFlip. But she says she had good reason to trust them.
My name is Ramo Bay, and it's my wife,
Michelle Nicole Bay.
That's Amira's own cousin, Michelle Bay.
Yeah, and who can't trust family?
So Michelle and her husband Ramo Bay run iFlip Chicago, and for $800, you can sign up for a boot camp with them. Or if you have a little money to invest, you can partner with iFlip Chicago and do a flip together.
It'd be your own family, right? It'd be your own family. That's horrible, right? She gave the money to her cousin because she said,
Hey, look, my family won't take advantage of me. There's no reason why they would take advantage of me.
here's the glue, guys. With family, you should look harder. You should. If your cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin, your cousin from your mother's side, that's from your granddad, like if you got to go through all of these family trees and just miraculously, this person is asking for $200,000, I would think that would be a red flag. I understand. She's your cousin. Maybe you talk to her every other day. But you need to get the details. Did you hear what I said? You need to get the details and understand why this works. 30% return on investment, is that normal for fix and flip properties? Is that normal? And the answer to that is no. That is not normal, guys. I know some of these guys will tell you, if you go online, they'll be like,
Oh yeah, we doubled. We invested 100 and we got 200 out.
right? What they're doing is they're giving you the examples of the home runs. They're telling you the home runs, but they're not telling you the other 9 that went bad. The other 9 that they only made $4,000 to $5,000 on. The other 9 that there were expenses that they didn't even see there, right? Even though they had an inspection team go in there. They're not telling you that values have dropped in that neighborhood, that they made a bad choice in choosing the property. They're not gonna tell you that.
How'd that get in there?
They're gonna tell you the one HGTV that you see on TV that shows you that I made $100,000, $200,000 over. That's the problem. You're gonna hear this over and over from me, guys, is that if it sounds too good to be true, it is, right? Yes, my perspective on interest rates, on rate of return is probably different than yours, but let's be real. Someone telling you that they're gonna double the amount of money that you're making, it's insane. That doesn't exist, right? That doesn't exist. You might as well fall for the Nigerian prince story that you're gonna get in your email.
When the son of the deposed king of Nigeria emails you directly asking for help, you help. His father ran the freaking country, okay?
You might as well fall for all of these other scams out there. It does not exist, guys. And I think that's the problem, is that we need to shine more light on things like this to let people know that this does not exist. If someone came to me and said,
Orlando, I'm gonna make you 50% on your money,
I'm hanging up the phone and I'm blocking them and I'm saying that I'm gonna report it as spam. That's what I'm gonna do. It's insane.
That's what a lot of people did. And this company, they claim to offer everything you need to get started. So they give you access to a lender who can give you the money to buy and rehab the home. They identify the home, the perfect home for you to buy and flip. And then they also have a team of contractors that they claim to work with who can help you remodel the home. Finally, they offer to sell the home for you once everything is complete. And the only thing they do is they take 30% of the total profit.
Only 30% of the profit? Oh, man. After all of their contractors, after all of their realtors, after everybody that's on the team that is getting a kickback gets part of your money, they only want 30%. They're being generous.
Thank you.
Isn't that so kind of them to only take 30%? They're only taking 30% because the other 40% is being taken by all the contractors. So the question would be, how much money do you make? After everybody is paid out, after you give them their 30%, how much is left for you? I can answer that question for you. Nothing. Nothing's gonna be left for you, right? And here's the thing. This is a sad story for the two women that are featured in this story because it sucks to see them lose all of that money, are going to sue this guy, and they probably won't get anything out of this group that says,
oh, guess what? We're gonna give you this rate of return.
From this team, right? It's sad to see them lose all of this money, but this is a teachable moment, guys. This is a teachable moment that you have to take things into your own hands. In 2024, guys, if you guys haven't learned anything, you have to look out for yourself. You have to make sure that you won't get taken advantage of first. You have to make sure that you won't be taken advantage of, right? By first saying to yourself,
too good to be true? If I lose this money, what happens? What if these guys are scammers? What information do I have to trust these individuals?
Because a lot of these people are putting their life savings into these people's hands. Life savings.
You don't have to worry about any of this stuff because they have all of these relationships.
Now, iFlip and Ramo posted a lot of stuff online about these flips, about successful projects they were doing. So a lot of people who saw this thought it was a good idea.
If you're interested in actually learning how to flip homes, if you want to learn how to do this for real, iFlip Chicago Bootcamps is 100% hands-on.
There are even a few realtors who signed up because they saw what Ramo Bay and iFlip were doing online, and they thought maybe they could learn something.
There were a lot of people who had successfully done flips with him.
One of those realtors is Tatiana Barnett, and she'd actually flipped some properties in Indiana, but she wanted somebody with more experience to help her with her next project. So here's what happened next. Both Tatiana and Amira were found properties that iFlip thought would be a good fit for them. They were distressed homes on the south side of Chicago. These two homes in particular were in the Woodlawn area. And as you'll see, a lot of the iFlip properties that are in bad condition right now are also in Woodlawn.
It's sad because, you know, a lot of these companies are going into these areas where the property is just so low in value. And here's the thing. I understand that a lot of these companies were saying like,
oh, look, down the street they're building a Starbucks, or, you know, maybe 18 blocks from here they're building a high-end grocery store, a Whole Foods or something like that.
And a lot of these guys will use and saying that they're ahead of the curve, right? When it comes to these flipping scenarios, right? And I am just, you know that I am really against. If you've seen my videos before, you know that when I talk about investing in the hood, I'm just like, meh. No, thank you. That's just not my thing. There's just so many problems that go along with investing in the hood, investing in these low end, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 properties. And here's the reason why. Because you're subject to making sure that the house next door or the house down the street is doing the same thing as you. And if things go, you know, wonky, What if no one buys that house and fixes it up? What if the grocery store that got permits to build decides not to build? Now you're in a scenario where you flip this property and it's probably either worth less than you bought it for, or at the very best, it's even, right? You just have a property that you fixed up that's just worth what it is. But here's the thing, you won't get the quality tenants that you want in that area. The next door neighbor, you may get rats and pests and all type of things. You even may get break-ins and stuff like that because the neighborhood in general is stuck in that environment. That's just what you get. And so you have to understand and really think about it if you want to get into this flip business. And they don't show that on HGTV. On HGTV, they make it seem like you can jump into any neighborhood and just fix up the house, and miraculously, it's worth $100,000, $200,000 more than what you purchased it after you only put in $20,000, $30,000. That's what they want you to believe. It does not work that way. It does not work that way, guys. Because if it did, everybody and their mom would be doing it. And these guys are just selling you guys a dream. Or has that happened before where someone got ahead of them revamping the whole neighborhood? Yeah, of course. Of course that's happened. But it's like catching a falling knife. Do you want to really do that?
So after finding the perfect homes for these two women, iFlip then wanted them to sign up for a commercial mortgage, which is a really short-term mortgage with high interest rates. And they were going to get this mortgage and use the money to buy part of the home and also fund the rest of the renovation. But as a condition of getting the mortgage, they had to have Ramo Bey, the owner of iFlip, sign on to their loans. But they were told that's not very unusual.
It's not something that's unheard of if you don't have a track record of doing, fix and flips with lenders.
A part of the iFlip package, and one of the reasons a lot of people invest is because they offer full service. So everything from finding the property, getting the lending, and even in this case, giving you a real estate attorney that you can use to review documents as you're going along the iFlip process. So by this point, iFlip has identified 2 homes for the women to buy and invest in, and the women are set up to get funding, and all that's left to do is close on the properties and sign a ton of paperwork. But this is a critical point, and this is where they say everything went wrong.
Okay. Now, this is my neighborhood. When it comes to financing, as you guys all know, I'm a lender myself, so this is not gonna go fly past me. It's just not gonna work, right? The whole generality that this is something that everyone does, it's not uncommon. Well, if you put it in the way that she said, it is uncommon, right? But the real scenario is that they were partnering, right? When you partner with someone, that is not abnormal. When you see individuals decide they want to partner up and they own a company 50-50 and they want to get into flipping a house and they're both going to be on the loan, that is not something that will shoot off red flags to me and be like, oh, we shouldn't have done it. But in this scenario, when you explain it and say that you're just a regular investor and that this is a requirement, did you hear what I said? This is a requirement for you to do a joint venture with this individual so they can be on the loan also. That's a red flag. If you would have explained it and said,
hey, it's not abnormal for business partners to go in and sign in.
But was he really a business partner? It sounds like you were in some way kind of forced, not forced, but forced into believing that you had to have him on the loan because of your experience. But here's the thing. Did we hear previously? Let's go back to that moment when she said,
I have experience.
And then she says in this video that she had to do that because she had no experience. But she did have experience based on her own words. And normally that's enough, right? The lenders, like myself, we all want one thing. We just want to make sure you're not getting in over your head and that you're not using us as a test dummy for your first property, right? Do you have experience? And that experience can come in multiple ways. It doesn't have to come in rehab. It could come in you just owning rental properties. It could come in that form. It doesn't have to come one-to-one in a rehab scenario. These are the things that I'm talking about that if only she had someone to speak to that wasn't the individuals who were ripping her off, who were scamming her. Right? If you could actually have a conversation with someone who doesn't have a conflict of interest. And when you go to the guy who's in the program and say, hey, is this an issue? He goes,
oh, don't worry about that.
It's a conflict of interest. He's going to tell you whatever that he has to tell you so that you can use his people, right? You should always, guys, listen to me. you should always go get your own lawyer. You should always figure out and work with your people, right? You should always have this. Maybe you reach out to another lender, say,
have you heard of this other lender before? Have you worked with these guys before? Maybe I want to go with you.
There's all types of things that you need to do. That is like you getting a home inspection and the home inspector was recommended or given to you from the realtor.
Bruh.
What do you think the realtor is going to do? What do you think he's going to do for the realtor? He's going to make and say,
oh, everything looks good, no problem.
That's what's going to happen. You should never, ever, ever use your business partner's connections. My point is that was foolish. That was foolish.
So at closing, they had to sign hundreds of pages of documents. It was a really long process. But there were 4 sentences buried in these documents that really came back to bite them in the, There was this really strange cross-collateralization clause in the loans that meant if Ramo was late on any of his loans, the lender would charge what Ramo owed to the loans held by other iFlip participants like Amira and Tatiana.
The loans then went on to fail. They were never written to succeed. They were predatory loans.
This was never about flipping property. This was about taking loans out to pay a debt. That didn't belong to us.
And Ramo had several past due balances.
Hold up, you may be wondering, why would anyone sign an agreement like that? This must be their fault. But both women had hired an attorney that was supposed to look out for them and look out for language like this. But here's the thing, that attorney, he was recommended by iFlip. And Tatiana says he never even showed up at her closing, while Amira says he never disclosed any of this cross-collateral language.
Again, what did I say? Use your own people. You have to take care of yourself. Even in a partnership, you cannot blindly trust a partner. You can verify, but you cannot just say,
oh, well, he said it or she said it. It's good. I don't have to do any checking. They're going to take care of it.
Because that is the easiest way to get taken advantage of. Especially for a person that you've met online, a person that you don't really know much about. You're just going to take 100% their word when it comes to giving up your life savings. I would hope anybody, if you get in any type of partnership with anyone, that you would do your own due diligence, that you would have your own lawyer. Why do you need to share a lawyer? You're looking out for your each best interest, right? That's the point. You're looking out for each of your own best interest. That's the reason why he's giving you his attorney. He's looking out for his interest. And that's what happened in this scenario. Right? The cross-collateralization thing, I mean, is that standard? Is that something that is in every loan? No, it's not. Maybe that lender put that in there for some odd reason. I have no idea. But here is the thing. Here's the thing. That type of language really isn't meant for partnerships. It's really meant for the individual. It's just unfortunate that she was a partner with him, which then connected all of the loans that he's involved in. Right? Here's the thing. It does not block you. Cross-collateralization statement like that on loan docs, it does not block you that since you're in a partnership with someone that they can't come after you for those loan balances, right? You signed on the dotted line and you said that was okay, that there was no issues with that. That is the huge red flag that made this such a quote-unquote a Ponzi scheme. That's using their words, allegedly. So in my opinion, this isn't really about the cross-collateralization. Yeah, that's a detail in it. The problem is that you didn't vet this guy, that you didn't look into detail, that a 30, 40, 50% was normal. That shouldn't have been any red flags. That was the problem. It's the mindset that you believe that the things that you saw on HGTV, made up reality TV, that's crazy. It's made up, guys. These individuals are making up stories to make you believe that it's easier than what it really is.
Now, he's also being sued along with iFlip. Now, this is the part the lawyers are calling a Ponzi scheme. You can see on the women's loan statements that they're being charged interest for other loans that don't belong to them. There are thousands of dollars in these cross-interest charges, and they were all transferred from loans that Ramo was late on. Now, time eventually ran out on these short-term loans, and it left people in a really bad spot. We found at least 7 iFlip properties are in foreclosure right now, including Tatiana's. A lot of these homes have been gutted and they're unlivable, they're vacant, and they've been that way for a long time because iFlip participants could never get the money from their loans to actually fund the renovation or rehab. Now these unfinished homes are just an eyesore in the South Chicago communities where they are. And again, a lot of them are in the Woodlawn neighborhood.
The cross-collateralization scenario, I could see that easily working with one individual, or maybe a person in an LLC and it's a one, maybe two member, maybe both members are married or something like that. But I could see how it would be problematic, right? Problematic that it's two parties that are partners but have their own vested interests, right? I could really see how that could cause problems. But here's the point. The point is that the individual signed those loan documents. Now, were they forced to sign those loan documents? Did they have great representation? No, they weren't forced to sign it, but the lawyer that they used was a lawyer that was in the best interest of that iFlip team, right? Or the iFlip Chicago, whatever their names are, right? It was in their best interest. It was their lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really know how that would break down. What's the rules and regulations? But I can tell you one thing. It is a red flag. It is an extremely red flag. Again, I'm going to say it. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And the reason why these properties are now going into shambles is because values are dropping, guys. I told you guys this. I've done videos on flipping where I told you that these guys flipping, these guys telling you that they're going to give you X amount of returns. I've done videos with JT Pocket Watch. We've went over and over and over and over and over again to let people know that, hey, look, when these values drop, what are these guys going to do? And now that the values are dropping, these guys can't do anything. They don't have enough money to finish the properties. They're handing back the keys to the bank. They're getting sued. They're claiming bankruptcy. Everybody and their mom who was pushing Airbnbs, that were pushing fix and flips, all of these guys, they're in hot water right now because values are dropping and dropping and dropping.
We actually heard from iFlip's owner, Ramo Bey, and he says he's actually a victim in all of this too. He says that language that allowed his loan payments to go to other accounts wasn't disclosed to him. And now he says he's gonna go after the lender that is causing all of this damage.
Good luck.
Now, it's important to note that we know from emails Ramo had at least 20 loans with this lender, and he also had his own real estate attorney helping him with iFlip. The loan company told me this cross-collateralization language was standard on all their loans. So it's kind of unclear to us why Ramo is saying he had no idea about this.
The lender is saying this is standard for them, not standard across, right? So that makes sense. This is something that they did, and this was just part of their policy, which it's weird to say that now he's saying he's a victim of this same policy and you got 20 loans with them. And I can almost guarantee you that the lender is saying,
yeah, I mean, we've been pulling money from one property to another to make payments for a very long time.
And he knows this was happening. I mean, he signed 20 loan documents stating this. And like the lady said, you also had an attorney look it over. So his portion is going to be tough to prove that he was the victim. Of course, he's going to say he's the victim, right? But what happened to these other ladies' money? And unfortunately, I don't want to be negative Nancy. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but it's going to be very hard to get their money back. Either they won't get it back because they're going to lose the lawsuit, or two, he's going to claim bankruptcy and you won't be able to get the money back either. And it's sad because I feel like this type of scenario will really put a bad taste in these ladies' mouth, and they won't want to do real estate ever again because they lost so much money. But the point of this video, and I know this is a long video, guys, I know it is, but the point of this video is to show you where we're going in this downturn. People are losing money from bad investments. All of that money that came from the pandemic, it's just being burned, right? People are taking that money, claiming scam, scam, scam. But all I'm saying is that it should have been a red flag when someone tells you you're going to make 300% on a return on an investment. When someone tells you that $200,000 that you invested, guess what? I'm going to make that 400 or 500,000. That should be a red flag. But anyway, guys, hopefully you got value out of this content, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, but you know you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video. Yes, this video right here. It will help you understand what's going on in the housing market, financial news, get into your first rental property. Guys, you will love the information that I give you. It will be gold. See you in the next one. Thanks.